you are back with comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. I went down to the supermarket today to buy some groceries, and it was fucking packed, but it was eerily quiet. Just people walking around like fucking ghosts. Masks on, dead eyes, just people stumbling around looking for shit to throw in their mouth. It was fucking silent. The spark has been dimmed in the people of Melbourne. I didn't want to make eye contact either. I was like, don't look at me. Don't look at me. I suppose there's reasons for the silence. You're not allowed to go into a supermarket with anyone from your house. So it's not like you go down to the supermarket and strike up some conversations. Hey, do you know what aisle the bleach is in? Nah, the anal bleach. Then just get into a 20-minute conversation with some old bird about anal bleach, and she's just there to get teabagged. She's just there to get teabags. Teabagged. I've got a new addiction as well. This is exciting Friday night fodder. I've got one word for you. Pumpkin. Fucking pumpkin. That's the shit. I don't think I need to eat anything else. Just fucking pumpkin. This is all you do. You don't add anything to it but butter. You fucking chop it up. You get a whole pumpkin. Just cook the whole fucking thing. And just pick away at it all day. It's good for you, and it's no calories, and it's fucking delicious. I don't know whether it's because I haven't had sugar in like 4 or 5 months now, but it's like eating fucking candy. Pumpkin, who would have thought? I've been eating like 1 kilogram a day for the last like 4 or 5 days. Like a true addict, as soon as I find something I like, I fucking hammer it into the ground until it destroys me. 1 kilogram's like 2.5 pounds, and I think 1 kilo of pumpkin, it's fuck all calories. What you do is, this is how you prepare it. Just chop it up, melt off some butter, and then paint some butter all over the pumpkins. Who cares how much butter? Just butter the fuck out of it. And then just throw it in the oven for like 45 minutes until it sort of gets brown, but it's got to be soft. It's got to be almost mushy to the touch. You want no firmness in the pump at all. And that's it. Just take it out and eat some fucking pump. You don't even need to salt it. Just fucking eat it. It tastes like candy. That butter turns into a little bit of a glaze, and it's fucking delicious. Anyway, that is enough of my enthralling fucking Friday night bullshit. You have some parties to go to, and you want a fucked up Friday story that's going to inspire you. So here we are, Fucked Up Friday. Okay, so this is the first ever Fucked Up Friday sent in by a gay dude. We've had a couple of stories sent in by the lesbos. Shout out to Michelle and Beth out there. This one is from my man out there in the US of A. I forget exactly where it was, but it was from somewhere where it's not fucking cool to be gay. So hardcore respect for that, brother. Thank you for sending in the story. I fucking appreciate it. Thanks for spending the time to type it out. Anyone else who wants to send in a story, hit me up on social media. I'm Boyle Comedy on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Get your Fucked Up Friday stories in. Okay, now let's get into a 20-minute story of sucking dick. No, it's not about that, unfortunately. So here is the Fucked Up Friday story for this week. In 2017, me and my husband went to the World Beer Expo in Frankenmuth, Michigan. It's America's little Bavaria. It's a German-themed city, and since I have a little German blood in me, I've always had a soft spot for the place. To stay safe and avoid driving, I booked a jacuzzi suite right next to the fest so that we could go and spend all day drinking and then just walk back to the room when we were good and hammered and have a little soak. We started drinking early, scavenging the tents for our favourite breweries and whatnot. My sister and all her friends were there, and we met up for a few before disbanding and getting back to the main quest of hunting for the perfect and strangest brews. After an hour or two, we ended up running into these 2 girls and their mum that became our friends quickly. We started walking around and drinking with them, hanging out, and it was just a really good drunk time. They lived not too far from me at the time, and we started making all these typical wasted, let's hang out sometime after this plans that always form but never follow through. We still stay in contact to this day. Fuck me, that was half the anxiety of my hangovers. was all the shit that I organised the night before when I was hammered that I was definitely not going to do the next day, but always felt obliged I had to do. Fucking nightmare. So we separated at some point and I went up to the ticket booth to buy more tickets because I was running incredibly low, and I ended up leaving my wallet on the counter and walking away without noticing. When I went to grab it 5 minutes later, my wallet was gone. The ticket people didn't have it, so someone had obviously stolen it. I was bummed out, but I vowed to deal with it in the morning. So we were getting drunker and drunker, and then out of nowhere we were just purely fucked, slurring, spinning, getting all sloppy and shit. When we got to the stage where we couldn't function, we decided to go back to the room and relax a little bit. We got up to the room and I put on some music. We opened some fresh beers, prepared the jacuzzi. I lit a stress relief candle for ambience and we got naked. Ooh la la. And hopped in the tub while it filled with hot water. Well, not hopped, probably more like fell in like turtles off a log in a lake. Next thing I know, there's two big black guys running into the room yelling at us. When I first read this, I was like, fuck, is this going to be a foursome? Like interracial cucking foursome? I don't know. Would have been wild. So the two black guys ran in, yelling. I started to freak out. Like I blew a gasket, full on Courtney Love, get a tour cancelled, meltdown. I've never flown off the handle so hard before and was almost surprised at how crazy I was acting. Almost like an out-of-body experience. I had no control. I thought we were being robbed or something. I started yelling at them like, what the fuck are you doing in our room? What the fuck is going on? At this point, I realized two things. One, I was standing up completely naked in front of them. And two, they were wearing security badges. They kept telling me we had passed out and they had been knocking for 20 minutes before they had forcibly entered because I was flooding not only our suite, but the one below as well. In this moment, I looked down and realized, yes, they are ankle deep in water and bubbles, which is not a good look for my argument that I was fully conscious for the past hour or so. I still didn't believe them though, mostly because I was at this point completely wasted. They were yelling at us still, and I started freaking out because obviously there was no overflow drain on the jacuzzi. That would have stopped all this from happening. So I start screaming they have faulty equipment and I'm not paying for anything. I realize now that I was still naked and screamed, why are you still looking at us? Like you've never seen two naked dudes in a hot tub before. It was painfully obviously that they had not seen two naked dudes in a hot tub before. We got dressed quickly, sloshed out to the main room and was full of people at this point. Managers, security, custodians soaking up the mess. It was insane. Anyway, we're both screaming, going absolutely berserk at the manager of the hotel. It was a sight to see in a retirement town. While the industrial vacuum started erasing our damage, someone down the hall yelled for us to be quiet. I screamed as loud as I could, "Fuck you!" This was a family place with kids and a pool. Then I heard a door open in the suite across from us, and who the fuck was it? It was the three girls we were hanging out with at the beer festival, and they were taking a video of all of it, saying that they were on our side and they were going to defend us, and the hotel was definitely at fault. Management said they were going to need a couple hours to clear the room, so we went over to the girls' room, and they suggested what we really needed was another drink. I was thinking they were going to suggest a fucking intervention. But they were also willing to pay for it because I lost my wallet, so I was totally down with it. We go down to this hotel bar and this old-ass German inn, and there's steins everywhere. It's dark, it's musty, it smells like cabbage. It's a really, really great place. So we're drinking, getting fucked up, and I see a guy, big burly motherfucker, in lederhosen. And I go up to him, I'm like, you know what? You're the hottest dude I've ever seen in my entire life. I was prepared to be knocked unconscious. But he looked at me and said, you know what? Thank you. I know how hard it must have been to say that, and I really appreciate it. It sounds like you could have fucked that guy. Anyway, so Captain Buzzkill, aka the hotel manager number 2, showed up in the doorway of the bar, summoning me to come out and talk to him. I'd calmed down considerably at this point, and the manager was saying that they can't not charge me for the room because we destroyed property. And I, still being a supermassive cunt, continued with the, fuck that, I'm not paying. As soon as I get home, I'm going to call my lawyer, which I didn't actually have. He said they were willing to take $100 off the room for our troubles. I didn't want to show it, but I fully intended to still not pay for the room. So the next day I wake up and I'm in fucking rough shape. I have no wallet. I still have ID. so I was able to drive still. On our way out, I saw a crew of electricians pulling down the soggy ceiling tiles and a plethora of wires. This type of morning would normally be the typical I'm never drinking again moment, but ended up going to my favourite restaurant of all time and having a day beer. About 3 days later, I decided to call the hotel. I was totally sober and now realised how much of a mistake I'd made, how undermedicated I must have looked, and how I almost killed myself and dragged my husband down with me. She said they had no intention of letting me not pay for the room, but they were willing to give me $100 off for the issues we have with the jacuzzi. At that point, I'm like, okay, you fucking win. I'm really getting off lucky here, and totally surprised the police were not involved. Well done. I don't know how the fuck you got $100 off after destroying the whole fucking hotel. That is a fucking masterclass in savagery. Okay, thank you, Mike from Ohio. You said down the bottom you don't mind if I use your name. Thanks for your fucked up Friday story. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you the fuck later.